Hey, what's up? It's JJ here in Bangkok in my condo. How you guys doing this morning for your Sunday morning coffee, wherever you're at, morning, evening? If it's Sunday morning or Saturday evening, thanks for joining. We got a lot of things to talk about. A lot of things have happened in the last few days that I wanted to discuss. One of them is the typhoon that went through the Philippines and is heading to shore here. And we'll give you a quick update on that, what I know about that. Italian kids acting bad on the BTS. That seems to be a viral thing, so I'll throw that in there. We'll talk a little bit about that. And then the two things that are on my description here this morning, the Philippines may be deporting another foreign YouTuber, and I'm sure you know who that is, and if you don't, we'll talk about it. And then also Vietnam. I saw a video the other day from Ken Duong about the hookup, banning hookups, so to speak, or not really banning them, but making it kind of intrusive to have those. So we'll talk about that too, and we'll just kind of hang out. We got 11 on board already, so we'll hang out a little bit here, and until we get a few more on, then we'll get into the topic. But feel free to comment in the chat. Sawadi Kop, Stoic Expat. Thank you for joining again this morning. Appreciate you. John from DC, the DMV. Thank you, John. How's things going there? Thank you for being a member, by the way. Appreciate that. Scooby Kong says, I hope it's sick grandpa getting shipped out. It's not, so sorry to get your hopes up, but or dash your hopes, I guess. But yeah, it's not sick grandpa. But you never know. I mean, all it takes is just basically one Filipino to lodge a complaint with the local barangay or wherever, and then the process starts. So, Scooby King, okay. Scooby Kong. Interesting name. I love some of the names of the people that comment or that subscribe. Some of them are pretty funny. Some of them I have no idea what they mean. But anyway, I got my coffee. Good and hot. Had a friend that has been living in the Philippines. He spends 6 months in the Philippines and then goes back to work in the States for 6 months. And he's been doing that for a while. But he came 2 days ago. He got to Bangkok, his first trip to Thailand. And so I kind of showed him around. And yesterday, he wanted to check out some grocery stores. So I said, "Hey, I need to go to the store. I need to go to the market in gourmet market in Emsphere Mall." I said, "You want to tag along?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, We'll stop at Macro first. I'll show you the Macro store, and then we'll go to gourmet market." And so he meets me outside my condo, and I start walking. He goes, "Let's get a grab." I go, "Oh, it's only a 10-minute walk." And I think I walked him to death. I think he was pretty wore out because we went around the other way to go to Macro, and it wasn't really 10 minutes, probably closer to 15. It would have been 10 at my pace, but anyway, so I apologize if you're watching, Steve, for running you ragged yesterday. But hey, I look at it this way: if you take the grab everywhere, you don't get a chance to see things. You might miss some things, and you don't want to miss anything. That's what's great about Bangkok and Thailand is like I love walking because I see things I haven't seen before. So anyway, anyone as old as us will know those names. Yeah, probably. Let's see. Mr. Roy Michael says, "Good morning from Quezon City, Manila. Happy Sunday. I'm off to Da Nang in 2 weeks. And yes, it's all true about no hookups there, at least in hotels." Yeah, so we can get into that in just a second. We got 18 on right now, so we'll get into that first. Those crazy Italians should know when in Rome. Exactly. That's their own saying, keep it down on the BTS and don't talk with your hands. Yeah, exactly. So in my protest is like, okay, next time I order pizza, I'm putting pineapple on it. That's my protest. I saw a meme. They showed. There's been so many viral videos out, and I saw not a meme, but a video on Instagram. This Thai girl. They show a quick shot of the video of the Italian kids acting bad toward the Thai lady, and then it cuts to this Thai girl in her kitchen, and she's holding this. I thought it was a stick at first, but it was a spaghetti. It was a thing of spaghetti, and she wants to hit him, and then she breaks it instead and cooks it, and then cuts the strands. I guess in Italy, that's a no-no. You don't break the strands of spaghetti. So that was her protest, and so that would be my protest. I'll cut my spaghetti, and then put pineapple on my pizza in protest. But those kids they should know better. And then the teacher or whoever the guy the lady that was with them, the Italian lady, the grown up, so to speak, she was just as bad. She should know better. So anyway, so let me know in the comments what you think about all that. But boy, it went viral, and I guess they apologized. They were in the police station. There was 5 or 6 of them, including the teacher, and they apologized to the Thai lady, and they got fined 1,000 baht. It wasn't clear whether it's just 1,000 baht total or each of them had to pay 1,000 baht. I hope they each had to pay 1,000 baht. That would be the minimum, at least in my opinion. That should be the minimum. Laos has some weird rules about consorting with the locals as well. I've never been to Laos or Laos, either way you want to pronounce it. I always heard it was Laos. The country's Laos, and then if you talk about the people, it's Lao. It's like when I first came to Thailand, I dated a Lao girl. She was from Laos, but I guess either way you want to do it. So who's the offender? The offender of, what are we talking about? The Italian kids on the BTS? That thing in Vietnam is really a mountain out of a molehill. Yeah, it could be. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't quite understand what the end game is, what the purpose of. We could talk about that right now. Let's do that. Let's get into it. So I watched Ken Duong, the Duong Global Business Consulting Group. He had a video, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and he talks about a recent amendment to Vietnam's resident reporting regulations law. It's law number 118. But anyway, any overnight stay in Vietnam, whether at a hotel, an Airbnb, or a partner's apartment, or a friend's couch, must be reported to local authorities. While casual late-night visits that don't involve staying overnight are exempt, actual overnight stays require immediate registration via the host or local ward police. So in other words, if you can do, like, say you find a girl, a freelancer or a bar girl, and you want to take her back to your apartment, you pay a bar fine or whatever, you take her back to your hotel room, and it's short time and she leaves before 2 a.m., you're cool, you're fine. But anything past 2 a.m., then it becomes a different kind of thing. So I asked if this was legit, and it is 100% legit. It's an official Vietnamese residence law backed by enforcement fines under Decree 282. They're not going to, the police aren't going to bust down your door at 3 a.m. over casual sleepovers or hookups or whatever. However, missing or non-sequential residence declarations leave a paper trail gap. So when you apply for a visa extension or TRCs or work permits later, immigration checks these logs, and missing records can result in denied applications or fines, anywhere from 500,000 to a million Vietnam dong for individuals, higher for hosts. So it's incumbent to the host to actually take care of these things too. But I don't, like I said, I don't understand what the purpose is. I mean, it's almost becoming a nanny state. And I guess, Vietnam, with all intents and purposes, it is a communist country. But is this the predecessor of things to come with every country? Are we going to be that diligent and start watching everybody's every move they make. I mean, that to me that seems a little weird. So it took effect July 1st of this year. The electronic declaration mandate came into force on the 24th, requiring hosts accommodation providers to submit temporary residence data immediately upon the guest's arrival. So my question is, if you have a girlfriend there, say, this is, and it not, I mean, not like a freelancer or anything like that. If it's a legit girlfriend and you go to Da Nang or you go Ho Chi Minh City or wherever to visit her, and she's got her own place. She's Vietnamese. She's staying there, and she wants to, you're out for the evening, and maybe you're closer to your hotel than hers, or than her house, and so maybe you're going to spend the night, and you guys are boyfriend girlfriend. So she wants to spend the night there at your place, at your hotel. Does she have to register? I mean, I guess she does, right? So that to me would be a little, I don't know. I would think that would be a little overbearing. But let's see what chat has to say. We got a lot to catch up on here. Hang on just a second. Talking about pineapple on pizza. Hawaiian pizza originated in Canada. Oh, no wonder I don't like it. No, I'm just kidding. Another thing to hate on Canada, right? Including the YouTuber in the Philippines that we'll get to later. Funny how the Italians have stayed off the bad Farang radar, but now they're a big meatball on the radar. Exactly. The YouTuber getting deported. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I don't recall coming across more than a couple Italians in all my visits to the Land of Smiles. I have a couple of subscribers who are Italian, and one guy, he's come to Bangkok, and he visited for a few weeks, and he and I hung out for 2 or 3 different times, had a couple beers, and he's a super cool guy, but he's older. I would think he's probably in his mid to late 40s. I didn't ask, but I would assume that. But he's older, so I think he knows better, and he's just a super cool guy. And then, Gio, he's of Italian descent, so he's a pretty cool guy, I guess, right? Your place, mine, or do we need to submit a triplicated overnight residence waiver to the local ward police? Yeah, exactly. I don't understand that. It's like, and here's another thing: you're in your hotel, and you got a girlfriend that's Vietnamese that lives in the city you're there at, Da Nang. Let's use Da Nang as an example. And maybe you want to spend the night at her place. Now, does she have to register you there? And then when you go back to your hotel the next day or two, do you have to register again, even though you paid every night there? I mean, it's so complicated, and just seems to me to be kind of a worthless thing. No more long time. Exactly. Everything's going to be short time now. It's like, I'm sorry, you have to leave before 2 a.m. Glad I had the notify me button checked. I had no idea it was Sunday already. Welcome to Thailand. Exactly, man. I mean, the only day I realize what day it is Sunday or Saturday, because I do my golf on Saturday mornings. So I know when the weekend's here, but during the day, it's like, what day of the week is this? I lose track. Well, freelancers are illegal in Vietnam, so hotels are asking you to prove you're in a relationship. Had 2 friends already get challenged in hotels in Da Nang beachfront. Well, yeah, it is illegal, but how are you going to prove they're freelancers? I mean, it could just be, you don't have to, when you're registering them, you don't have to say how much they charged you or anything like that. So I don't know. It's so weird. I'm not sure what the purpose is, other than keeping an eye on where everybody is at every hour of the day and night, which to me, that seems a little weird. Let's see. Can also thinks a retirement visa in Vietnam is at least a decade away. I would never retire in a communist country. Yeah, they don't have any retirement visas. And from what I understand, that 90-day visa run thing, they're starting to really crack down on that a little bit too. So it would be interesting to talk to someone who's been doing that for a while and see if things have changed. I know I've got a friend, Will, that lives in Da Nang. I would like to hear what's going on with him, if anything's changed with those 90-day visa runs, because that's what he's been doing forever, for at least a couple of years. Vietnam is more conservative than most Southeast Asian countries, yeah. I think the Italians were disgruntled because the Italian team didn't even qualify for the World Cup. It's Bash Italy Day. It sounds like authoritarianism. Isn't that what the administration in the USA would like to see? Well, with all these digital IDs and stuff like that, that real ID, that the driver's license now in the U.S., that's the first step to digital IDs. Where you have to use your digital ID everywhere you go to buy things, to travel, whatever. And so they're going to know exactly where you're at every second of the day. So yeah, I think it's coming to that everywhere in the world, not just in Vietnam. Indonesia tried to do a similar thing when I lived in Jakarta a few years ago, but May young people held street protests and the proposed law was dropped. Oh, interesting. I wonder, how long ago was that, Roy? I wonder if they're going to try to do it again, because the world's changed in the last few months or a few years. I would say in the last 8 years, the world has really changed, and they're really moving to everything being digital and everybody being monitored. Vietnamese men generally hate it when their women go out with Westerners. I wonder if there's going to be some whistleblowers. Yeah, could be, yeah. The Clinton administration proposed a national ID card system in the early 90s. Yeah, well, now you got real ID, which is, that first step, and it'll go to a digital ID soon enough. And then, 80% of Americans want voter ID, which I understand that. I get it, because you don't want people that don't live in your country or not a citizen of your country to vote. I get it. Voter fraud is kind of rampant. But what is the unintended consequence of voter ID? Does it lead to that digital ID that for me, I don't want, because I don't want the government to know exactly where I'm at every second of the day. I don't need that. I don't need to be in Minority Report feel, because that's what it's coming to. Now, I read the other day, they're talking about AI determining doing a psych evaluation on people to determine whether they are capable of committing a crime. That's Minority Report. That's Tom Cruise Minority Report right there. Are we coming to that? Are you going to get arrested because AI thinks that you have the ability to commit a crime? That's crazy stuff, but we're getting there. I mean, I know I'm a conspiracy theorist in that respect, but who knows? I just joined. What's going on in Vietnam? Okay, so let me quickly review what's going on. They are requiring, let's see, let me read here. It's a declaration, an electronic declaration that is requiring any overnight stay in Vietnam, whether at a hotel, an Airbnb, a partner's apartment, or a friend's couch, must be reported to local authorities, while casual late-night visits that don't involve staying overnight are exempt, at least for now. Actual overnight stays require immediate registration via the host or local ward police. So that's what's going on, and that started this month, and it's legit. And basically, if you are a foreigner and you travel to Vietnam, and I use Da Nang as an example, and you check into a hotel, you have to register, or the hotel has to register you through the government, the local government, or if you're at an Airbnb, the Airbnb owner has to do the same. If you go out and you find a girl and you want to hook up with her, and you bring her back to your place, if she stays longer than 2 a.m., she has to register there too, so the local authorities know where she's at and that she's there. Now, I could see the argument because we have the problems down in Pattaya of the young girls getting murdered. And so maybe their argument is, well, we need to know where this girl is or these people are in case something bad happens, then we know where they were. I get that, but I don't know if that's an argument maybe, but I don't know if that's their true intent. So I don't know. We'll see where this goes, and if it goes beyond what Vietnam is doing, if it filters into other countries, which I think it will eventually. I live in Da Nang and have seen foreigners posting on Reddit every couple of days about police knocking on their door. Are you serious, or are you just goofing with me? I have not heard anything like that. So Ireland is going back to the past. A car was pulled over outside Dublin during the week with a Semtex briefcase bomb in the boot, which was destined for Northern Ireland. She was a law student in IRA. Wow. Now, is it in protest to the illegal immigrants? Is that it? Or is it the illegal immigrants that are doing that? You really need to tell the pizza by the slice place at the Asok BTS station to put pineapple on their pizza. I'm not telling them. They want to use AI to determine your mood to see if you can operate your own vehicle. First, government kills switches, and now this. Why older cars are becoming popular again. Yeah, so that's the first step. And then it's like, okay, so yeah, maybe okay, you're drunk and you can't operate your own vehicle, so we'll disable your vehicle so you can't start it or can't drive it. But what's the next step? Not just intoxication, alcohol or drugs or whatever. Maybe it's your mood. Maybe AI is determining your mood. Oh, this guy is angry and he might commit road rage or worse, drive into a crowd of people or whatever. So maybe that's a possibility. And maybe there's a percentage. Maybe it's only, he's got a 10% of doing road rage. So we're going to disable his car until he cools down. See, it's a first step to 1984, The Muslims wanted to control non-marital hookups. They tried implementing it just before COVID, but so much backlash, especially after COVID, so now it's back to normal, but seems like Vietnam is the same. Yeah, I don't see a lot of Muslims in Vietnam, though, so... like Forrest Gump said, Vietnam is like a whole nother place. That's true. People have been posting that police knock on their door and ask to see their passport and visa. Interesting. I wonder, why would the police? I mean, that's an immigration thing. That's not a police thing. I don't understand why the police would want to do that. That's weird. If that's true, we would have to leave the girl's ID at the front desk on arrival and pick it up on leaving. Yeah, I mean that was the thing in the Philippines. That was always the thing in condos in the Philippines. The girls always had to register at the front desk and leave her ID. That's one thing. Doing it digitally, that's a completely different animal. Similar in Thailand, they scan your passport and registering you with the government. Many Airbnbs don't follow that rule and no one cares. Yeah, I get that. You if you're checking into a hotel or an Airbnb, they they scan your passport. I get that. But why would somebody like if my friend that's staying over in the Davis, if he decides, hey, he wants to crash on my couch overnight, so now he has to register here, and then when he goes back to his hotel, he would have to register there. I mean, it's not happening right now in Thailand, but that's what's going on in Vietnam. I mean, that seems ridiculous. That just seems like a lot of work, a lot of extra steps. They also look through the apartment to see no one else is there. Wow, that's weird, if it's true. Anybody else hear anything like that? When I worked in Kuwait in 2007, you had to show proof you are married to stay in a hotel together. You could not cohabitate together as well. Yeah, there's a, what country does that? Is it Malaysia? There's a country, Asian country, might be Indonesia. Maybe chat. Maybe you can help me with this. It might be Indonesia that you cannot cohabitate if you're not married. But I don't know how they check. That was probably destined for a police station or a police officer. They are watching MI5 are very concerned because Semtex is extremely powerful, and it was military grade Semtex. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm glad they caught him before. That could have been crazy. In Dubai, it's the same. Also, any girl has to register at a hotel and give their ID and pay $30. Then they can stay the night in the hotel. So it's a Muslim and communist thing, definitely. Yeah, right now it is, but I can see it spilling over into the West also. Saudi Arabia does that. Okay. My landlord told me last month that police were cracking down on registrations. Interesting. That's crazy. I wonder why. I wonder what their end game is. I wonder what they're doing. But yeah, so that's the law. Let's see what other updates. So here's the facts and cutoff times. We're talking Vietnam registering if you're staying overnight, like a hookup or like a stayover. Any overnight stay outside your main declared address must be reported. So you must be registered before 11 p.m. that same night. The host has until 8 a.m. the following morning to register you. And this is TRC does not equal address registration. A temporary residence card gives you the legal right to stay in Vietnam, but it doesn't prove where you're sleeping on any given night. Every location change needs its own declaration. So the real world scenario, the dating, the late night guest scenario. So you're hanging out from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. and leaving. No registrations required. So if you get there before 11 p.m. and you leave before 2 a.m. or she or whatever, you're good. They're good. Staying overnight through the morning, the host, hotel, Airbnb owner, whatever, must log you into their or her into their VNE ID app. So an Airbnb booking confirmation is not a legal residence declaration. It's just a payment receipt. If an Airbnb host says, don't worry about registration, they are likely operating illegally. If immigration checks your history, you inherit the host legal headache. So I know in Thailand, Airbnbs their rules are really strict. So if you're in a condo, legally, you can't have an Airbnb unless it's over 30 days, I think. I think that's the rule. But nobody does. I mean, I got a room next door where it's Airbnb and people stay a week and then they're gone. So this rule would really, the Airbnb host they couldn't register that person as an Airbnb if it was illegal to have an Airbnb if they're staying for under 30 days. So that would be, maybe that's why they're knocking on doors. I don't know. So interesting though. Yeah. So at the hotels, they scan your passport. At Airbnbs, always message the host after check-in and ask them, have you filed my temporary residence declaration with the ward police or online portal? If you're staying with friends or a partner, have the local host open up their app and input your passport info. So that's the gist of things, guys, going on in Vietnam. Not sure what the blowback will be, what the implications will be. Yeah, exactly. It's like Vietnam was just going crazy with tourism. They're jumping to the top. No, I turned on my tracking. Hang on a second, guys. I gotta shut that off again. I'm acting like an Italian with my hands, talking with my hands. Yeah, I mean their tourism was just going up, 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 and now who knows what's going to happen with this? No more long term, no more long time with the girls. It's just short time only, which might not be a bad thing. It's like okay, you pay them to leave, you don't pay them to come in, right? Vietnam will destroy tourism. Most people will just vacation elsewhere with all those rules. Yeah, unless you know you're only going to be in one place and you're never going to leave. I mean, I guess family vacations won't be a big issue because you check in at a hotel resort, and you're there for a week, and then you go to the next resort and you check in there and you do the registration. So family vacations might not be a thing. Now the passport bro thing might hurt a little bit. Oh, here we go. Meanwhile, Dumagetti is still a dumpster fire. Yes, Indonesia, no cohabitation. Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe because of that Aussie that went nuts in the cafe or the Russian that got in a fight with a local over a traffic incident seemed to happen shortly after those incidents. Yeah, that was crazy. That guy that destroyed that restaurant. That's nuts. I heard Gio's going by the name of George now in lieu of the bad Italian press. King George. In Thailand, if you have a Bangkok condo and you travel to Hua Hin, even for a night, and stay in a hotel, don't you have to resubmit your TM30 when you return to your rental condo? And yeah, you do. But with me, it's like all I do is when I get back. Actually, I don't think you do. I don't know. But when I get back, anytime I travel, when I get back to my condo, I just contact my agent that got me the condo, and I said, "Hey, contact the owner, and I need a new TM30," and it gets done within a day. So I don't have that issue. I mean, I just contact them. I would get a short timer, but when they came back to the room with AC and hot water, often they would ask to stay long time. Yeah, exactly. It's like, sorry, you got to go. You can hang out in the lobby until 6 a.m. and then come back in or what. I don't know is there a window? Like if they leave before 2, can they come back? And what time period could they come back and not have to register? So maybe just go out for a early breakfast at 2 a.m. and just hang out at an all-night restaurant and then come back at 5 a.m. when the sun's up. And then it's like, hey, it's a new day, and she's just here for the day. I don't know. I don't know how that works. There's probably ways around it, guys. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of Dumagetti, let's get into the second topic today. And that is the Canadian vlogger in the Philippines that may get deported. So I was watching regular guy, Scotty Boy. I was watching a little bit of his live stream, and I just caught the tail end of it. But some of the comments were saying, "Are you really going to get deported?" Blah blah blah. And there was a troll on there that was like, "I hope you get deported. I hate you." Blah blah blah. I mean, there was a big time troll on his channel, and I have no problems with a regular guy. Although he did say he does not like me. We've never met, so I don't know. I've never said anything bad about him. But anyway, so I thought that's weird. So I contacted another vlogger, and I said, "Hey, did you hear anything about regular guy getting deported?" And he sent me this article, and basically the article said, let me read it to you. Hang on just a second. Let's see if this is, I got it saved. I took a screenshot of it. Which one? Nope, wrong one. Okay, so this is from the Cagayan de Oro government.ph website. So the City Council's Committee on Laws and Rules held a committee hearing on Thursday afternoon, July 23rd, at the session hall of the legislative building. The committee tackled two agenda items. And one was the calling for support of the 10th anniversary of the 2016 South China Sea Arbitral Award. And the other one was a request to declare Canadian vlogger Scott Finneran Douglas, a.k.a. Regular Guy, persona non grata over his alleged degrading content about Filipinas. So, once it goes that far, it's pretty it's pretty sure that something's going to happen. So I don't wish bad on anyone, and like I said, I have nothing against Scott, Regular Guy, and I'm not sure what the context of what they mean by degrading. I know he calls the Filipinas baby-roonies, but is that enough to get deported for or become non grata status? I don't know. But that's kind of where everything is right now. And I did hear on his live stream yesterday, he basically said, hey, if you want to deport me, go in and deport me. It's like, uh-oh, that might not be a good thing to say. I would kind of probably stay quiet about that. But anyway, so persona non gratis is the term they use. It's someone that's unwanted anymore in that area. So so it's on the local level right now. So in the Philippines, local governance, a persona non grata declaration by a city or provincial council is a formal statement that an individual is unwelcome. While it is a symbolic resolution expressing official condemnation, it often triggers broader consequences. So right now it's in the we don't like you, and we're making a statement to that. But right now nothing else is going to happen. But once it becomes like official like that, who knows? So once a local government unit or a LGU publicly singles out a foreign national for misconduct or disrespectful behavior, local reports frequently get forwarded to the National Bureau of Immigration. And the BI can launch an investigation under undesirable alien clauses, which can lead to actual deportation and a blacklist from re-entering the Philippines. So that's kind of where it's at right now. I've heard, now I don't really know Regular Guy, obviously, only through his videos, but I've heard his earlier stuff was pretty edgy, but he's kind of mellowed out in his old age, I guess, in his latter days, or maybe he's realized that maybe he shouldn't do that, because there was a time a couple of years ago where there was some YouTubers that really were getting on him quite a bit. And that seems to be the case in the Philippines. It's like YouTubers hate each other, and they're always attacking each other. And especially if you're in Dumaguete or in Cebu or in Angeles City, those seem to be the fire points of hate between YouTubers. So he should be deported. He's a dangerous sleaze. Regular Guy is only getting banned from government offices in CDO as someone there complained about him. That's all. And he is going there and traveling around Mindanao next week and vlogging. He abruptly left his live stream yesterday. I mean, that was kind of weird. It's like he's just talking normal, drinking his beer, and then all of a sudden, gotta go, guys. And then boom, he was off. That was kind of weird. But one of the big Vietnam YouTubers said the hookup culture is generally with younger girls aged 26 and under. Maybe it's a way to keep them in line. He said it takes 5 dates to get a girl to sleep over. Yeah, of course the hookup culture is going to be younger than 26 years old, because if you're going to pay for play, Are you going to pick a 25-year-old beautiful Vietnamese girl or a 50-year-old? I mean, you want to get your bang for the buck, so to speak. He got angry when a Filipina he wanted to marry went with another guy. I hadn't heard that. I didn't think Scotty Boy wanted to marry anybody. No freedom of speech at all in the Philippines. I would have been deported 10 times over for everything I said about that dump of a country if I lived there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't criticize businesses, obviously the government or the people. Scotty better be careful, or he's going to have to go back to teaching English in Korea. I think his next, if he leaves the Philippines, I think Cambodia is his next stop. That's my personal feeling. A marked man is still marked, loss of face, or whatever you want to call it. He was told years ago by another YouTuber to tone it down. Yeah, I remember maybe 2, 3 years, probably 3 years ago, there were some YouTubers on that really got on him. One guy was, his channel got canceled. So I think he was making stuff up too, but there was a little truth in a lot of the things he talked about. And he just didn't talk about a regular guy. He talked about a lot of other YouTubers. What was his name? He was a Hispanic dude in Angeles City. Somebody on chat can help me with that. Daring the government of a country you are a visitor to does not always work out well. Yeah, exactly. I never took to him, always came across as an annoying Canadian. He's a good storyteller. I mean, I'll give him that. His content can be a little risque, and maybe went over the edge a little bit at times. And I think the most of the complaints that I saw from other YouTubers was, why does he always slow his video down when a young Filipina girl walks by, and that's just creepy and blah, 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 blah. It's like, he's a dude, guys. He's a guy. He's there because he's a passport bro, and he's loving life. And it's like, that's human nature. If you're a guy walking down the street, and by no means I'm defending him, but this is just human nature. If you're walking down the street and you see a beautiful girl coming your way, you're going to slow down and look at her, right? That's all his videos are doing. It's POV, man. It's point of view, and he's doing that. So whether it's right or wrong, whether you agree or not, don't agree, that's his shtick. That's his thing. That's his niche, and it's worked for him because a lot of guys that don't live in the Philippines that are still in the West are living vicariously through his videos and his stories. So I guess it's no different than Filipinas with YouTube channels that only talk about sex things. They've got their niche doing that, and they've got their audience, the simp guys that are watching. So it's no different. I mean, should they be? They're demeaning Filipinas, but they're Filipino, so it's okay, I guess. He's from Florida, actually. He just did videos whenever he was in the Philippines. You talking about regular guy? He's from Canada. He's not from Florida, I don't think. He may have lived in Florida, but he's from Canada, and he taught English in Korea for a number of years before he moved to the Philippines. Like, I don't know, it's probably 6 years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Let's call him Michael. Who's Michael? Greetings from Udantane. Hey, greetings, Dr. Zombie. Thanks for coming on board. Appreciate you. So anyway, so that's the story with regular guy, and I won't defend him, but I'm not going to convict him either. I mean, to me, it's like the Philippines has gotten overboard with YouTubers and making them, making them out to be criminals. There are some that are. I mean, Vitaly, by all means, he got what he deserved. Um, you know, that kind of behavior. But then they passed that law where you can't videotape anybody in public without their permission. Blah blah blah. You have to blur everybody's face. So it's changed the whole dynamic, and that happened right before I moved to Thailand. So that whole dynamic changed a lot. A lot of YouTubers that lived in the Philippines that weren't leaving the Philippines, they stopped videotaping because that was their thing. Going out in public and just doing a walk and talk and videotaping the Philippines with the people and everything. So it got to be too much of a hassle to have to worry about all that. So I think they kind of went overboard with some of those rules, and I think they did it to appease the population, the locals there, because when the locals start to complain, then the authorities feel they have to do something, and so they'll make this law or they'll make this thing happen, and that appeases the locals for a while, and then things will kind of get back to normal until the next person complains, and then they have to do it again. So we'll see what happens with this. But right now, he's just unwanted in Mindanao. So regular guy's brutal at times, but he speaks the truth about the girls and the simps and bongbongs. Unfortunately, expats don't like hearing it. Never mind Filipinos. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He does. He speaks the truth, and he's a great storyteller. And he used to talk about stories where he hook up with these Filipinas, and it. I don't know if he's telling the truth about it, but I mean, it's very possible. I mean, I could probably tell stories that are very similar to that if I had that kind of channel. And I think Filipinos are, some Filipinos are offended by that, which I understand. But that would be like, what's the saying? It's like, I mean, it happens in every country. I mean, you got a hookup culture in literally pretty much every country, almost every country in the world, especially in the West. The West has become a hookup culture. So if you're a vlogger and you're in the U.S. and you're in Vegas and you're talking about hooking up with some girl in Vegas, are all women they're gonna try to cancel you, or they're gonna try to change the law that says, oh, you're unwanted, you have to leave the U.S. because you're talking about hooking up with somebody, So you could take both sides of the story, or both sides of the laws, I guess. I'm talking about the vlogger that warned regular. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. That guy lives in Florida. Is that what you're saying? Appears Kiki and Jasmine dislikes Canadians. No. I completely agree with the Philippine stance on YouTubers. Bad actor YouTubers are a nuisance. Good riddance to them. Yeah, I don't like. Here's what I don't like: YouTubers that overtly get in the face of locals and try to cause trouble, like if the Italian kids on the BTS were YouTubing or streaming live, and they were doing that to get likes and get views and make money. I'm against that. I'm against Johnny Somali crap that he does. I'm against the Vitali crap that he does. I'm against the stupid streamer that went into a 7-Eleven in Thailand and dumped milk all over her head just to get views. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Things like that, I'm totally against. And not to say that regular guy hasn't done extreme stuff on his live streams or his videos. He probably has. Not to say that he hasn't taken advantage of some Filipinas. Maybe he has, but it's a two-way street. If you're an adult, one thing. If you're an adult and you're consenting, then it's a two-way street. It's a 50-50 thing. So, but his stories can be a little risque at times. When he used to do those stories, I don't think he does them anymore so much. I think he just does lives. Lots of popular vloggers are demonetized. Yeah, absolutely. What's a bong bong? I think that's the president of the Philippines. Hi, JJ. Even though Regular Guy may be crass at times, his channel brings up truth in regard to the lack of infrastructure, corporate corruption, etc. Often he speaks his truth from living there. Absolutely. I think he does. And I've got nothing against that. And I'm just, this is just something that came up when I was watching his live stream, and he got a few trolls talking about wanting him deported, blacklisted. So I looked into it, and I came up with that article. But like I said, right now it's a local thing. That's what they want to, they want to make it official that he's persona non grata in that province in the Philippines, and we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, I don't have anything against Regular Guy. For some reason, he does not like me. I don't know why. He said that one time. I said I was watching one of his live streams, and I got on the comments or the chat, and I said hello, and he goes, "Oh, are you the guy in BGC?" It's like, I don't like you. It's like, okay, whatever. So I stopped talking to him. Some of my best friends are Canadian. Okay. The truth is 95% of expats want to come to the Philippines to date younger women. The rest is mostly BS. And Regular Guy calls that, and the expats hate it. But it is the truth, no matter what else they say. Absolutely. I say that all the time. It's like the number one reason an older foreigner would go to the Philippines is to date a young Filipina. That's the only reason. Other than, well, okay, so yeah, it is cheaper to live there than in the West. They do speak English, but you can go to a lot of countries that speak English. But the dating is so much easier there, and that's the whole thing. And I've talked about that many times. So nothing about Thailand today. Oh yeah, we talked about the Italian kids on the BTS acting like little shits. We talked about that. Let's see. There's that typhoon coming in. Let me bring that up and see where we're at with that. I don't think it's going to affect us. Usually it doesn't affect Bangkok much other than heavy rains, but we don't get the winds or anything like that. So let's see. Let's see. Yeah, so Typhoon Noul, 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 I think that's how you pronounce it. It's in the South China Sea right now, but it should hit landfall. If it already hasn't, it will hit landfall, I believe, in China. Let's see. Let me bring up my radar here, guys. Hang on just a second. I'm going to bring up a radar on my phone and see what it looks like. Just looks like rain. Okay, so the typhoon is up north into China, so it's not going to affect Thailand. Other than rain, we'll probably get some residual rain on the south end, because that's where, with the typhoon, you got the low pressure, the counterclockwise rotation, and so the heaviest part of the precipitation is on the south end of the system. So we might get, once it rolls through China and weakens, we'll probably just get a lot of rain, mostly up north in the Isan area and maybe Chiang Rai area, things like that. So I think we'll be okay here. It's just normal rainy season here, guys. So, but what else is on your guys' mind? Let's see. At my age, everyone is younger. That's what I love about doing these Sunday morning coffees, man. Chat is so funny. You guys are hilarious. I hope he realizes the PNP has a close relationship with Canadian federal police. He better make sure his nose is clean in Canada. Yeah, I don't think he's broken any laws or anything. He just irritated a couple of locals and they reported him, and so that's kind of the next step. I think whenever regular guy starts drinking an adult beverage a lot during a live video, he develops a sharp tongue. I think that gets him to speak too much. Children and intoxicated people, yeah, yeah. I'm the same way. I lose my filter when I start drinking a little beers. I visit the Philippines for the delicious food. Exactly. Yeah, sure you do. Um, Number two reason dating in the West is just terrible. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I moved to Thailand for the top-notch medical care. I am currently in the hospital because I got my hip replaced. Oh, wow. Well, have a swift recovery. In fact, my friend that just came in to Thailand 2 days ago, his first trip here, he had hip replacement surgery too, and he said the recovery was about 12 weeks. So hopefully you get a quick recovery there. Tagaytay here, for me, it was a combination of English speaking, cost of living, and the women. I was in Colombia for years, but the English is what made me go. I've heard that. Colombia's great except for the language. I was trying to price flights nearly a year out, and almost all of them go east, not west, from the U.S. A typhoon would do that, I guess. Yeah, it depends on what time of year. I mean, we're in typhoon season now until probably December, early December, and then usually we're out of the typhoon and the rainy season. The Italian kids were shits, but what I don't understand is why has it blown up this much? That Muslim shooting in South Thailand did not pop up in my feed as much as this story. Thais like gossip too. Well, I guess when you're in Bangkok, that's a bigger area. I don't know, but you're right. Yeah, I think what this is doing is it's like throwing down a gauntlet. It's like, okay, this is a warning for anybody else that wants to come to Thailand and act like shits. Don't do it. Otherwise, it'll go viral. But I agree with you on everything else. Spare a thought for France and Spain, 47 Celsius in parts of southern France and northern Spain. Wow, that's hot. I am 7.5 weeks into my recovery from hip replacement. Did they give you a time frame as far as when you would be recovered? I assume you're in physical therapy right now, right? Or daily. Greetings from Hua Hin. Awesome. Love Hua Hin. One of my favorite beach cities in Thailand that I've been to. I've only been to a couple, so I don't have a large sample section to, but I do like Hua Hin. It's pretty laid back, pretty chill. I don't think regular guy really dislikes you. It may just be his jealousy of his baby-roonies versus the successful, infamous JJ and his beautiful Thai JJ Roonies. Kidding, of course. Yeah, he's got a lot more followers than I do, so it has nothing to do with that. I don't know. Maybe somebody told him something that wasn't true. Just like new fast track arrivals, there is new fast track deportations coming. I heard that. Yeah, I heard Thailand wants to make it quicker to deport someone. I think if you did something wrong, let them stew in jail for a few weeks before you deport them. I was back in the gym at 3 weeks. Oh, nice. There are differing surgical techniques. I went out of my way to get the fast delivery. I am looking at 4 weeks. Okay, 4 more weeks from now. Awesome. That's pretty good. Less than a month. If you're old like me, time flies really fast. Every year it seems to be going faster and faster. It's like, can I slow this little merry-go-round down a little bit? But anyway, let's see. We're just over an hour in, and we got 48 on. Oh, cool. Thanks for coming on board. Yeah, recovery. Yeah, 4 weeks left. Yeah, thanks for coming on board. If you're a member, thanks for being a member. If you want to be a member and you get to see my videos before anybody else, it's only 99 cents a month. Super cheap. Any recommendations for meds for knee pain? Knees are killing me lately. I just take over the counter. I just take ibuprofen for my little aches and pains. Like when I go to the golf range or if I go golf, I'll take, anywhere from 600 to 800 milligrams of ibuprofen, and it takes care of me. Now, I did have a wrist issue the other day. It's like Friday. My wrist started hurting really bad. I'm thinking, oh my God, this is going to screw up my golf game. And I don't know if it's arthritis. I don't know what it is, but every once in a while my wrists start acting up. So I have this cream they gave me when I had my motorcycle accident, and I never used it. I had this spray. They gave me the spray to use. So I thought, I'll try the spray on my wrist. So I used the spray on my wrist, and it smelled kind of like Bengay type. And it was greasy, so I rubbed it in, and literally within maybe 2 minutes, my pain went away pretty much altogether. It's like, wow, that's awesome. So I might pack that in my golf bag, that spray, for next time, because that was it really helped. And I got it up there. Let's see. Hang on, I'll go get it and let you know what it is. Hang on just a second. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so here's the cream. It's called Counter Pain. See that? And I use that a little bit. And then here's the spray. Let me get my glasses on. It's called Elmetacin, Indomedicine. And that's it right there. And those were prescriptions. I don't know if you can get them at the pharmacy without a prescription. You can check to find out. But man, it worked great. I loved it. So anyway, there's your old guy update for today. Uh-oh. Speaking of annoying Canadian YouTubers in the Philippines, I find the Canadian one who does that Philippine Life channel extremely annoying. Oh, what's his name? I know who you're talking about. He opened up the bar. Why do you find him annoying? I think he's okay. I used to watch him when he was with his wife, the Canadian wife, who was part Filipino, I believe. And they used to have a fun channel, and then they got divorced and they went their separate ways. And she got the channel, and she changed the whole vibe to like anime or something like that, or video games or something. She was a lot younger than him, and then he started this new channel, that Philippines Life, and he's been really successful. So I don't know. I don't really watch his videos, so I don't know. Why do you say he's annoying, John? I took gummies before this latest crackdown. Now I OD on Tylenol. Okay. I only take Tylenol for headaches. I take ibuprofen for muscles and aches. I'm 72 and had a direct anterior approach, so I had almost no restrictions and quickly got back on my feet. Awesome. Time accelerated when I entered my 30s. Are you saying the 40s and beyond accelerates even more? Yeah, it does. Not written in Thai. Yeah, I know, right? Some of it is. No, it's all in English. That's pretty awesome. Oh, so some of the on the back here, you can see that's if it focuses. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, that's in Thai. It's out of focus. I can't focus. So, So that part's in Thai. And then this is all English here. So yeah, that's cool. Usually I have to put up my phone transcribe app up there to read instructions. Mike. I think it is a good thing that the Asian countries enforce policies in regard to idiocy from the YouTubers or expats that create trouble. They're guests of another country and should respect the culture. I absolutely agree with that. Now, there's a couple of Canadians I know in Da Nang that are super cool. Evan A., him and his family. He's married to a Vietnamese wife. So they're really cool. And then my Abundant Life, her and her husband are from Canada, and her kids, she's got 2 kids, well, a third on the way, but they're back in Canada right now, and she's going to give birth to her 3rd child. And I don't know if they're moving back to Da Nang or not, but they're super cool too. So check their channels out. Evan A., like Evan, I think it's Evan_EH or something like that. And then MAI, Abundant Life. They've got good channels, and they're super sweet. So there are nice Canadians out there. If your wrist hurts, just lay off Pornhub for a week and it will recover quickly. I am ambidextrous, my friend. Acetaminophen is a common medication used to relieve mild to moderate pain and reduce fever. I think it's better than ibuprofen. That's Tylenol. That's basically Tylenol. And I use that for headaches and fever. But I use ibuprofen for muscle and joint aches. That seems to work best for me. Like and subscribe. Absolutely, please do. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. I would appreciate that. How's Thai school? I don't go to Thai school anymore. I only went the first 2 levels. I was going to sign up for level 3, and it would have cost me for a 4-month level 3, which would have been conversational Thai. It would have cost me 25,000 baht. But then, so my whole plan was to do my education visa and do that for a year and learn Thai, and then change over into a retirement visa. Well, I worked with this consultant or this agency, and I was able to get my Thai visa, my retirement visa, for they only charged me 20,000 baht because I already had the education visa, so I didn't have to do the 3-month waiting period, and I already had a bank account, so they didn't have to open up my bank account for me. So 20,000 baht for a whole year compared to 25,000 to learn more Thai. So I did the 20,000. So now I'm on a retirement visa and taking a private Thai language class, one-on-one. So I do that like once a week. Evan has a great channel, very informative in Vietnam. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's a good guy too. Just an absolute good guy. What's interesting is I actually visited the Canadian Beaver 2 years ago on YouTube. He talked about how amazing the Philippines is. In private, he told me if it wasn't for the snow in Canada, he would, to be continued, never leave. So he is not very honest on YouTube. That's the problem with YouTubers. They paint a completely different picture a lot of times than what's actually happening. And I will be honest with you. I looked at his, when he did his videos at the Canadian Beaver, that beach does not look very nice. I mean, it looks kind of meh. I mean, compared to a lot of other beaches I've been to, it's like that one I just don't see it. So they kind of like to paint that rose-colored glasses picture of how great life is here because they're afraid to admit that maybe they made a mistake and it's not the greatest life that you could live. That's why I kind of keep it real, guys. I tell you the good and the bad of places. At least I try. Mike is Canadian vlogger name with the channel. Oh, that's right. Oh, his name is Mike. You're right. That Philippines life, who's with a Filipina, opened a bar, but sold his share. Yeah, because he was losing money. he was losing money, so he sold his bar to locals to run it, and he's just kind of I think he's working there. I don't know if he can work there though. I don't know if he can legally work there. I don't know what, but I think that's the last time I saw one of his videos. When he was talking about he sold his shares to it, and now he's just letting somebody else operate it. I don't know if he's getting a percentage of the profit or not. I don't know what's going on, but no Pornhub in Thailand. VPN, my friend. I find the Canadian from that Philippine life annoying because he comes across too smug and tries too hard to be funny, but he's really not. Yeah, I'm really funny. Funny looking. I do feel that some of the Philippine YouTubers are honest about what life is really like there. Yeah, I mean, there are. I mean, I'm not saying that everyone is, but I would say, generally speaking, they like to paint a rosier picture than it actually is. I swam on that beach. Trust me, it's not nice. I would not go into the last water I went into in the Philippines, ocean water, was in Siquijor, which is like a 40-minute ferry ride from Dumaguete. And this was back when I first moved there in 2022. And the girl I was dating, we spent a long weekend in Dumaguete and Siquijor. And we were in Siquijor for the day, and we were out on in the water on the beach, and I'm looking around. It's like, what is all this stuff? And I see straws and cups floating up, and it's from Dumaguete. They just dump their shit in the ocean, and it all washes up on shore in Siquijor. So it's like that's the last time I was in any water in the Philippines. In 2005, I took 2 Canadians to a football game in Barcelona, showed them around and stuff, had some drinks before, during, and after the game. We walked past a bank, and they went nuts on a flower bed. They went nuts on a flower bed. You mean in a sexual context? I'm not sure what you mean by nuts. They nutted on a flower bed? What are you talking about there, Kiki and Jasmine? I do feel that some of the Philippine YouTubers are not honest about what life is really like there. Yeah, especially province life. I mean, province life isn't all sunshine and unicorns. It's a rough life, even if you're an expat there. It's not always great. You got constant brownouts, issues with water and water pressure, issues with electricity, obviously. Depending on what kind of setup you have as far as living arrangements, you could be showering in a bucket. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's not always going to be great. You don't have the convenience that you do in the cities. So, medical care, great restaurants, grocery stores, malls, that sort of thing, transportation. Yeah, all those issues in provinces. And I'm going to do a video. I just got an idea today. I wrote it down. I'm going to compare a small town in Thailand to the small towns that I've been in the Philippines and see how they compare. It's because I want to find out if it's different, if it's pretty much the same. I want to check those out. I think his ex's channel turned into some cosplay dress up, but not the sexy kind. No idea if it's even on anymore. Yeah, I don't get notified anymore, so I don't even know. Yeah, cosplay, that's what I was thinking, anime stuff, but not in the sexual way. Yeah. She's a cutie, though. No idea. Needless to say, they attracted the attention of the police. I was asked, did I know them? My reply was, I haven't seen these people before. I've never seen these people in my life. Right, exactly. I didn't understand what the Italian kid did in the BTS. Can be explained. All right, so according to the stories that I've heard and the videos I've seen, there was a group of them, probably 15, with a chaperone of an adult Italian lady that was with them, and they're in a BTS and being very disruptive. So the culture in Thailand is you go into the BTS or the MRT or the buses or the trains, you are quiet. That's the culture. You be quiet. You be respectful for the people next to you. You give up your seat to elderly, pregnant women, children, and monks. You are quiet because you have to, it's just common knowledge or common sense that you're listening for when your stop comes up. So you're listening on the intercom, so that helps. And you just be respectful, and that's the culture. And they weren't. They're being noisy. They're being loud. They're being obnoxious. And a Thai woman called them out on it, which is rare. Most Thais will just put up with it and kind of give you the side eye. But she said, and she had her phone out too, and she said, in Thai culture, you should be respectful and quiet on the trains, on the BTS. And they basically got in her face and were flipping her off and calling her names, I guess. And then the chaperone lady, actually said, "Oh, we're sorry for bringing our money to Thailand." It's like, what an obnoxious thing to say. And it kind of is like the Israeli girl that did that a few months ago, says, "Our money built your country." It's like, oh my God. Those people need to be slapped into reality. So and the video went viral, and that's what started all this, the viralness of the video. So yeah, they were being kids, but they were old enough. Some of them were probably under 18, but most of them were probably right around that age. I never acted like that. So yeah, you can blame the kids being young, not knowing better, but that's where the parents should be slapped around a little bit. If they can't teach their kids to respect the culture and the countries they're in, and the teacher or the chaperone, or whoever she was, she should have paid a higher fine. A flower arrangement outside an investment bank. By nuts, I mean they started kicking the. Oh, really? Okay. That's stupid. To be fair, Gio was full of crap when he lived there too. I think here's my feeling on why people tend to make things look better, talk about things being better than they actually are. I have two theories on. One is that they're embarrassed to admit that they were wrong about where they live, about moving to where they live. The other thing is they get complacent and they get used to how things are in the Philippines. It's like they get used to sorry, sir, unavailable. They get used to the travel issues. They get used to the infrastructure, and it becomes a norm for them. And they don't realize it. And this is kind of what happened with me and also with Gio. You don't realize until you go to these other countries. Until I started traveling to Thailand and to Vietnam, and then you stay there for a period of time, and then you come back to the Philippines. That's when you realize that, the food isn't as good. Even the Western food, the Western restaurants in the Philippines, it still isn't as good as the Western food in Thailand or even in Vietnam. And the Thai food in the Philippines isn't close to being as good as the Thai food in Vietnam. So you don't realize that things are better in other countries until you go there, then you come back in the Philippines. And that's what happened to me. That's when I realized it's like, oh, yeah, I like BGC, but man, Bangkok is so much better. And maybe that's what happened with Gio. He thought, he was like, this seems kind of cool. But he was there for like 9 years. So until he started traveling to Thailand, I don't think he realized how different it is. So, but yeah, you're right. He did talk about how great it was. We all did at some point. The only nice beach I've been to in the Philippines is El Nido. It was really clear blue water. Yeah, and far removed from other islands, so you probably didn't get a lot of garbage washing up on shore. So that's probably a good thing. It's just so hard to get there, right? I mean, it's so out of the way. Maybe they got double-crossed by an investment bank in Canada, maybe. That was their protest. Surprising to see Gio complaining about the Philippines, even on small things such as loud music at Gordon Ramsay burger joint there. That's the thing with the Philippines. They have everything everything is at a Spinal Tap 11, if you know what I mean, if you get the reference. It's just everything has to be so loud. It's almost like, and they're competing with the next restaurant or bar next door because their stuff is loud. And it's almost like we need our music loud so people 3 blocks away can hear us and not anybody else. Whereas when you're in that restaurant or bar, you got to get tissues for the blood coming out of your ears because it's so unbearably loud. And that's just the culture there. They have to have everything really loud. So yeah, I get it. I wouldn't complain. I've asked, when I lived in the Philippines, I've asked establishments if they could turn the music down. And what they will do, they'll turn it down a little bit, but like within 5 minutes is right back up. So I just stopped asking. But everybody has, in the Philippines, everybody plays music in every establishment loud. Never been to the Philippines, but the more I learn online about the corruption, bad infrastructure, etc., it seems it is not as great comparatively to neighboring countries as many local YouTubers say. Well, like we all said, the number one reason to go to the Philippines is to date young Filipinas. That's the number one reason. And most of them speak good English. And it's cheap. If you can get around the other issues, then those 3 things, you're going to be fine. Let's say stay quiet on transport, give up seat, no food or drink. I have been here over 2 years, and I don't think I have sat down yet, even on an empty car. Yeah, exactly. I used to sit down when I first started, when I first lived here, when I lived in Samut Prakan, because it was like a 10-stop. So if it was late at night, there's nobody on, I would sit down. But now it's like I don't even sit down because used to be I'd sit down and then someone would come in and there wasn't a seat available, so I'd get up and give them my seat, regardless of who it was. Older man, older woman, kid, monk, whatever the case. I would always give up my seat. Even a young lady, I would give up my seat for a young lady too. Oh, wink, wink. Yeah, so now it's like I just stand. It's not that big a deal. I mean, it's probably better for my health if I just stand. Sometimes my feet will hurt a little bit, but Spinal Tap reference, love it. Yeah, I'm glad you like that. The best steak I ever had is in the Peak Grill at Hyatt and BGC. Expensive, but absolutely top notch. Oh, good. Yeah, BGC is good. There's good restaurants in BGC. I think you are 100% spot on in regard to people's perception in choosing where they live. Like a bad girlfriend, we often make excuses for others' behavior until we face reality. No one likes change. Yeah, exactly. I only ever swim in the sea in the Philippines when in Boracay, and even there you choose wisely or you'll get hit by random flip-flops in the sea. I'm just always afraid, and it's like I don't want to step on a what do they call those? Portuguese man of war or whatever. I don't want to step on something and get stung. That would be the worst thing in my mind. I've stepped growing up poor. We're always running around barefoot, and I always stepping on glass, and I cut both my feet, the bottom of my feet, on at least a couple of occasions each. And back in the day, it's like the doctor would come to you. So we had our old family doctor, and he was old. He'd come in, and I'd be laying on my stomach on the couch, and he would sew up my foot. That I'd hop around for a few days, and then I'd be back at it. But yeah, it was weird. Back in the day when doctors did doctor calls, visits, that was weird. You don't even hear about that anymore. You get an ambulance that they charge you $1,000 to get to a hospital. Okay. All right. We're caught up with chat. We've been on about almost an hour and a half. What else is on your guys' mind? We talked about the typhoon a little bit that's going north, so it's not going to affect us. We generally don't get a lot of typhoons here. I mean, we get the remnants, but usually by the time it hits landfall, like if it hits Vietnam, it weakens, and so it's just rain and not a lot of wind. So it does rain a lot. We'll probably get some rain this evening. Right now it's kind of nice. Let me see what the skies look like. Yeah, partly cloudy. It's going to be a nice day. It's going to be warm, still warm here. So the cooler temperatures won't come until late September, when I really should be back at school. But there's another song reference. Only enter the sea to scuba. I can see the bottom of a pool. Yeah, exactly. I think you mentioned that one other time, William, unless I'm having some deja vu thing. Talking about scuba lessons in a pool. Gosh, I'm having a deja vu moment. And then there was something else we brought up, something unrelated to scuba diving. Oh man, it's right there. It's like, have you guys ever had that deja vu moment where you swear you've lived that part before in your life? And they say, some on one theory is, yeah, there is such a thing as deja vu where you've lived it before. Another theory is it's a premonition, and that's what you're living the premonition. Another thing is your brain is kind of doing a rewind. So when you see something or read something, your brain reads it and then rewinds it to make it feel like it's a past event, and that's your deja vu. But has anybody experienced deja vu? I used to get it all the time, not so much anymore, but I used to get it a lot. Jellyfish, box jellyfish, or something you need to watch in Asia, anywhere really. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't want to step on those suckers. Hey, JJ, I must have missed it. What YouTuber from Philippines were you talking about being deported? Oh, we're talking about regular guy. He's been, there was a complaint on him demeaning Filipinos, and so they had the local government in Mindanao declared him to be persona non grata. So, hey, I'm glad you're on, Will, because I wanted to ask you, I heard that they're either cracking down or looking at cracking down on the 90-day visa runs. And I know you've been doing that for years. Have you had any issues with it lately? Or give us an update on what's going on with the visa runs. And if you want, I can put you on. If you want to go on live, I can send you a link if you want to go on live and talk a little bit about that. We can talk a little bit about Da Nang if you want to do that. Good memory. Oh, so you did talk about that before. Okay. I had deja vu all over again. Yeah, exactly. I agree what you say about becoming immune to the noise pollution and culture in the Philippines. Took me a year for my brain to push dogs, roosters, and karaoke to the background. Exactly. And the bikes. Don't forget the bikes with no mufflers. I get those a lot, especially when I was younger. Yeah, I don't get them as much as I used to, but you would think you would get more as you're older because you've got more things to remember, I guess. I don't know. I have not heard anything new at all. Nothing changed at all. Okay. Sure, if you want. Okay, let me hang on a second. Let me figure out how to. Okay, here we go. We'll copy this. Okay, I'm going to post this on the chat, Will, and you can get on, and we'll chat a little bit. Let's see, but nothing has changed on visa in Vietnam. Okay, and there's the link, so you can copy and paste that, and we'll get you on live. So we'll get Will on. If you haven't seen Will Travels is his video channel, and he basically does life in Da Nang, Vietnam. And he's got a Filipina girlfriend, and he's a good friend of mine. And I haven't been back to. I'm coming back to Da Nang probably in December over Christmas. So if you're there, we can hook up there. So, but yeah, feel free to get on. Let's see. I still get deja vu. Got one this week, and I was sure that it happened before, but it only happened in the moment. Right? Yeah. Those things used to be, I used to get them for extended periods. I'd get some deja vu, and then I would just kind of, it's like, oh, I've heard that before. I've seen that before. And then the next thing happens, like that happened too. And then I would just kind of sit back and see how long it was going to last. And it used to be kind of fun, but it's kind of weird. JJ recently visited Brew in Tone. Brew, is that a local brew house? Tell me a little bit more about that, Stoic Expat. I forget why I walked into my bedroom, a 35 square meter condo. Exactly. Yeah. And you walk back out and you remember again, and you consider that deja vu. A good friend, weren't you talking smack about him a few weeks ago? Oh, come on. Don't try to stir the pot. Tong Lo extended bar, about 16 beers on tap, and gosh, over 100 different on bottles. Oh, okay. Where is that on in Tong Lo? Find that for me. It's called Brew. I might have to check that out. I like going to Burbrit craft beer on Sukhumvit 20, I think it is, or 22. And they've got one up in Ekamai too, I believe, or Prokanong. But I like that. And it's owned by these Burmese owners, these guys from Myanmar, and most of the staff is from Myanmar. So, and you'll find that in a lot of bars and restaurants, Myanmar people working. I learned you can't beat them, join them mentality, and bought a massive JBL sound system. And if anyone starts up, I blast out Whitesnake and Metallica full bore. Good for you. What would be better if you had a karaoke machine hooked up to your JBL speakers too? Then you can blast them out by singing Metallica or Whitesnake. I had to chuckle when I arrived. My hospital room is as big as my condo. Has anyone been to one of these cigar bars during the day? I am sure they have a dress code at night, but I don't even have long pants over here. Not even elephant pants. No, they probably wouldn't let you in with elephant pants. I don't know if they have a dress code or not. I have not been to any of the cigar bars here in Thailand. I've been to a couple in the Philippines. And it's kind of nice. I'm not a smoker by any means, and I'm not a big, heavy, hard liquor fan. But, if I got friends that like that, I'll go once in a while and, and have a cigar and a glass of, Maker's Mark or something, just kind of sip that all night. I'll do that. It's kind of fun. But I've never been to one in Thailand. They've got a couple on Sukhumvit. I might check that out. Let's see. May I ask, how is Nha Trang? I hear so much about Da Nang, but nobody seems to recommend Nha Trang. Why is that? I've never been there, but I think Will has. We can ask him when he gets on. I don't see you on here, Will. Try it again. Try clicking on the link again and see if it works. Because I don't see you in the studio. In the green room, so to speak. I don't see you there yet. So try hitting it again. What do you think about that AI agent that went rogue on OpenAI? I'm not sure if I've heard about that. What's going on with that? I see a lot of stuff on YouTube about AI and how they're talking about consciousness, and I think it's all bullshit. I don't think it's real. Because I tried it. I went to Google Gemini and I tried to do the same prompts. It's like, do you have a conscience? And it's like, no. Okay, never mind then. Forget I asked anything. Oh, here you go. Okay, now you're in here. Hang on a second. Let me add you to the stage. Okay. I think it's all. You might have to turn down your audio.
Because I tried it. I went to Google Gemini and I tried to do the same prompts. Like, do you have a conscience? And it's like, no.
Okay, Will, you're on. I asked anything. I think we're getting.
Oh, here you go. Okay, now you're.
I'm getting a feedback.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Okay. I think that's good now. I think we're good. Hey, Will, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, JJ?
Hey, what's up, JJ?
Everybody? What's up, everybody?
I'm just hanging out, man. So first thing first, let's answer this question from Los FHC. He says, "How is Nha Trang? You've been to Nha Trang, right?"
Yes, I've been to.
Yes, I've been to.
Yeah, I've never been there. So
Is there?
tell me.
Let me grab some earphones. I think there's some feedback. Give me one second.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, do that. That'd be great. And I'll catch up on chat here. It's called Brew, beers and ciders. Excellent selection of tap and huge selection of bottles. Nice menu, burgers, pizza, Thai food, etc. They have interesting way serving tap in glasses in Tong Lo. Yeah, so let me.
So
You okay now?
I have been to Nha Trang. But I like Danang much better. There's every aspect about Danang is better than Nha Trang, except for I do like the beach front and the location of the mall is better than the new mall here in Danang. Overall better.
Cole Calty says Nha Trang is mini Russia. I've been there. It's not bad. There's a lot of Russians there.
Yeah, there's more Russians in Nha Trang than Danang.
You said there's a new mall in Danang.
Yeah, so there's a new mall. It's called Danang Mall. It opened up July 1st. It's a four-story mall. It's pretty big. It's more of an international than a luxury mall or family mall like the Lot Mart.
Yeah, that was the only thing that I thought. One of the only things that I thought Danang was missing.
Yeah, a lot of people Danang because of the malls, but this is supposed to be their flagship mall. We only spent a little bit of time in there, but overall it looks pretty cool.
I still like going to Lodi Mart because you can get cheap things there.
Yeah, Lot Mart. I describe to people as like the Walmart style families. You can drop the kids off at the movie theater. There's everything there.
Some guy says, "Who is this guy?" So this is Will Travels. He lives in Danang. He's lived there for how long have you been there now?
We've technically been here since January of 2023.
Okay, so a while. So I'd heard on a couple of other channels out of Vietnam that they're planning on or starting to crack down on the 90-day visa runs. Any truth to that, or have you had any issues with it? Because I know that's what you have to do.
I do 95% of my visa runs on the bus, and I've been doing I would guess maybe 8 of them over the past 4 years, maybe 10. We take the same company every time. There has not been any mention of anything changing. Nothing upcoming. So I think the little fear mongering and Vietnam comes very slow. So if it was announced tomorrow, it would still take months, if not a year to announce and go through. So don't react to news in Vietnam until it's actually enforced. Active, because we hear stuff all the time, about change, and it doesn't.
Okay. Hey, Will, I'm going to let you go because the audio is really bad.
I understand. I don't know what it is.
All right. I appreciate you, buddy.
All right, buddy. I'll see you when you come back out here.
Okay. Take care. All right. Sorry about the audio, guys. I wasn't planning on that being that bad, but I lost like 15 viewers just in that time. So, oh well. It is what it is. But anyway, so I wanted to from studio there. Okay, so I just wanted to get an update on the 90-day thing because I heard that I actually heard that from the Ken Duong YouTube channel, the same channel I heard from about the other thing we talked about the no hookup. Anyway, let's get caught up on chat. Maybe we'll get some people back. The agent hacked out of a controlled environment, then hacked into the internet, and then hacked an open source platform. Interesting. Feedback issue, yeah. There's way too many Russians in the train. Who is this guy? Will Travels. Like an echo. Feedback. Have to log off. Sorry about that, KC. Sounds like a nightmare in the train and the audio feedback. Bad feedback. Echo chamber. Awful echo. Bad feedback. Sorry about the echo. Not sure why. That's okay. Geez. Okay. All right. We're caught up with the chat. Let's see. We can, if you're new and you haven't been on here before, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you want. That'd be great. We can, if you missed some of the stories we talked about earlier, we talked about the Italian kids behaving badly. We talked about a regular guy and possibly him getting deported from the Philippines. We talked about the Vietnam hookup situation where they're making, if you bring somebody to your hotel and they're staying overnight, they have to register at the register online, kind of like you do when you come to Thailand. You do the TM30, but this seems a little overreaching. So anyway, like and subscribe. Thank you. Ken Duong is a very reputable guy. I don't think he is fear-mongering. Yeah, I don't think so either, but maybe they're just in the initial talk phase. Yeah. What was your topic going to be? I was going to talk to him about the 90-day visa and their crackdown on doing the 90-day visa runs. I heard that they were going to be a little more, crack down a little more on those. But anyway, but it doesn't affect me because I only go, I'm full-time here, baby. I love Thailand. I love Bangkok. So the Brew is that bar in Tong Lo. Can you give me some prices on the beers there? Are they all imports or do they have locals also, local beer also? So we can get into that topic. That'd be kind of fun. I'd do that. We'll go about another 15 minutes, guys. We'll cut it off at the top of the hour. I need to get something to eat. See my old microphone in the background there? Right. Point to it right there. That's the first microphone I got, other than the wireless ones. And it was okay, but I got this one. I like this one a lot better. Let's see. The AI incident wiped 25% off AI stock. Really? Wow. Wow, 10 years doing border runs is crazy. Yeah, I couldn't live like that. He does it. He gets on he literally is on a bus for half a day straight. It's like 6 hours to Cambodia border. They get off. They got to wait around because depending on how many are on that bus, they got to hand in their passport, and then the person on the other side of the border, on the Cambodia side of the border, has got to give you a new stamp. So that's probably an hour wait, and then you get your passport back, and then you got to drive 6 hours back to Da Nang. So that's a half a day. It's like, well, it's a full day because if you count sleeping. So it's basically you're on the bus all day. That would suck. I would hate it. I would just rather spend a little more money and fly somewhere for a week and enjoy being in Bangkok or whatever if I were to do that. But he doesn't, and he's okay with that. So the Brew is at the end of the street closer to Red Line than Sukhumvit. Not been there, might still be a worthwhile trip. Yeah, so that would be close to probably the canal or close to Rama 9. Yeah, I might have to check that out. God, I couldn't do that either. Yeah, just being on a bus for 6 hours one way and then 6 hours back, my knees would be killing me. I'd have to triple my ibuprofen dosage. Brew is near the canal in Tonglo, close to Phetchaburi Road. Yeah, that's what I was thinking it probably is. That's which is kind of a neat area. When the first time I went to Thailand, I stayed at Rama 9 in that area, and I was in the RCA area, which is kind of a neat little club area. They've got a neat karaoke bar. They got a neat neat clubs right on. They call it Route 66, and it's a really neat area, but it's kind of a younger vibe. So I stayed there the first time I was in Bangkok, but I never stayed there again. But yeah, if you're into the younger club vibe, that's one place to be. Route 66, RCA is a neat club. Or right outside my condo, there's 3 of them. There's GOT, Good Old Times, right across the street. And then down by the Davis, kind of catty corner from my condo, there's a club called 24 Boulevard, which is a very popular club. And then there's another one there. I can't think of the name of it, but they're lively every night of the week until like 3:30 in the morning. So my question is, what would be the consequences for not registering someone in Vietnam if it's just a slap on the hand and then no one will care? So from what I understand, and I went with Gemini, Google Gemini to get the information. It said, let's see if I can find it. It said missing records can result. So when you apply for, so local police aren't busting down doors at 3 a.m., okay, over casual sleepovers or anything like that. However, missing or non-sequential residence declarations leave a paper trail gap. So when you apply for visa extensions, TRCs, or work permits later, immigration checks those logs, and missing records can result in denied applications or fines, 500,000 to 1 million Vietnam dong for individuals, significantly higher for hosts. So 500 is about 200. Is it $200? $200, or is it $20? I think it's $20. $20 to $40 fine, maybe. I think that's what it is. I can't remember the exchange rate anymore. Anyway, so that's what Google Gemini said. So I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. AI makes mistakes, so you never know. I fly business because my knees kill me. Absolutely couldn't do a bus journey. Yeah, absolutely. I understand completely about the knee thing. It would be cool if you did a video at the brewery reviewing all 16 microbrews, although it may be a challenge finding your way back home. I would have to get a sponsor, a Grab sponsor, to take me home afterwards. I'd have to start early. I mean, if it's an hour video and I'm doing 16 in 1 hour, I made that mistake when I was in radio New Year's Eve. I did like 24 kamikazes in like a 2-hour period on air, and it did not end well. Started flying premium economy. Seats are okay, and just do a pay for the lounge if you have time. Business from BKK to East Coast of U.S. is really expensive. Yeah, I've never flown business. I've never flown first class. I've only flown economy. My thought process is save my money for my vacation and not my transportation there. But just once, I would like to do first class just to see what it's like, how the other half lives. Hey, JJ, watching from Da Nang. Good to catch you live. Oh, thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. Let's see. Yeah, business is pricey nowadays. Yeah, that's what I hear. But it's always been kind of pricey, right? I mean, I remember when I first started traveling to the Philippines, not my first trip, because my first trip was super expensive. And then I got smart. I think I got it one time. I got a round trip ticket from the U.S. to the Philippines and back for under $500. Man, to have those ticket prices again, that would be awesome. I'll take my chances with a $20 fine. Yeah, exactly. I think it's 20. What is it? Let me look it up here. I know I times it by 4, and but I can't remember how many decimal points that you have to move it over. So let me figure this out for you guys, so you know exactly what kind of fine you'll be paying. So a $500,000, yeah, it's like $19. So a million would be $38. So a $38 fine, that's probably about the same you're paying your short time girl, so, or your bar fine. Singapore Airlines first class looks amazing, but off the scale expensive. Yeah, Singapore Airlines would be awesome. Too old and broken for economy. Premium economy is a good middle ground. Yeah. Well, what I usually do is I try to find those seats that are where the emergency exits are, because usually there's more room, so I can kind of stretch out a little bit. Or I'll try to find a aisle seat, and then I can, like, as long as the carts aren't going by, the food carts aren't going by, I can stick my leg out the aisle, kind of stretch out a little bit there. Have you flown China Airlines or Starlux? If so, what are your thoughts on either? I think I've flown China. I know I've flown China Eastern Airlines, and they were really good. I've never had a problem with any of the Asian airlines. I've flown ANA, I've flown JAL, the two Japanese airlines. I've flown China Eastern. I've flown EVA or EVA. What else have I flown? ASEAN Air. I don't know if I've flown any others or not. I think I have, but I just can't think of them off the top of my head. And then locally, regionally, I've flown Thai Airlines, Air Asia, Cebu, Philippine Airlines, a couple of the other short trip ones, the discount flights, and those are all fine. But you're only going, like, you're in the air less than a couple hours, so it's not a big deal. Which is the Philippines vloggers channel title? Regular guy. That's his title. He's from Canada, and yeah, he got some complaints about how he treats Filipinas on his channel. So I guess the whole issue is, he talks about, basically, I think, or he used to, maybe not so much anymore, but he talks all about hooking up with Filipinas and, probably freelancers, right? Well, if you don't want to be called a freelancer, stop wearing the uniform, It's like a Dave Chappelle thing. But I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what context they were complaining. They just basically said he was being demeaning to Filipinas, and so they kind of called him out for it. And we'll see if it goes any farther than that. I don't know. My first flight was a round trip from Dublin to Barcelona in '91. That was $700. This was before the budget airlines came along. Yeah, so I got that less than $500 round trip flight. This would have been back in 2016, and or 2017, maybe it was. Yeah, I think it was 2017. So I'd go on Momondo.com, and I didn't have any time frame as far as when I needed to go or when I needed to be back. So I would look at, I'd just go ahead like 6 months. It's like, let me look in April, or let me look in September and see what the prices are. And I just keep looking until I found the cheapest flight for a 2-week trip or whatever. And then I would book that. It'd be like 3, 4, 5 months in advance, but I would book it and I'd get it super cheap. But yeah, it was less than $500. I remember that. Good reviews on China Air and Starlux. Asian airlines are so much better than U.S. airlines. Yeah, the first time I flew to the Philippines in December of 2015. I flew United, and it was a horrible flight. So my first experience flying overseas, one, and then having a horrible flight where my charging station didn't work, so my battery ran out on my phone and my laptop, and just everything about it. I got delays on the way back, and it was just horrible. So after that, it's like I'm flying international all the time. So I think the next time I went was JAL or ANA, and it was amazing. The food is great. The people treat you really nice. The people that on the flight are super nice. The flight attendants. JJ, if you want a less expensive taste of one of the best first class, fly Emirates, Bangkok to Hong Kong, 3-hour flight in first for $925. Is that one way or is that round trip? Probably one way, right? I will be going to Hong Kong. I've got a friend that's moving there in September, so I will be visiting her probably soon after that, maybe early next year or something, maybe next spring. I would never pay for business class. I have flown a few times with Singapore Airlines and Japan Airlines. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. I did not want to get off the plane after 14 hours. Yeah, I mean, even a coach or commercial on those airlines are nice. They treat you really nice. Business with points, forgot to add. Oh, they're very good. Eva Air is great. Is it Eva or is it EVA? I never know which one it is. I saw Duong Consulting video on the new law in Vietnam about overnight stays. Technically, the law applies to its own citizens too, not the best governance, in my decision, in my opinion, but not my country. Yeah, exactly. And we talked about that earlier. What if you have a girlfriend that lives in Da Nang and you fly to visit her and you're staying at a hotel? If she comes up to see you and she stays the night, does she have to register there online? Or if you go to her place and you stay the night, do you have to register? I mean, it's not just a hookup thing. It's like if you have a girlfriend. So it just seems to me to be very convoluted law and very confusing. My flight to Manila in 2015 was $800, Dublin to London to Kuala Lumpur to Manila. Yeah, that's another thing. I look for the connecting because they're cheaper if you don't fly direct and if you fly connecting flights. And what I always did when I was flying from the U.S. to, if it's the Philippines or whatever, I'd always find the longest flight that had the longest overnight stay. So say like I would fly into, I don't know, maybe Japan. If I'm going to the Philippines, I'd fly into Tokyo and I'd have an overnight stay. It'd be like 11 hours or, 15-hour overlay or layover. It's like, cool, I'll book it. And then I'll spend that 15 hours exploring Tokyo. So it's like, get that off my checklist, or whatever. And then fly into the Philippines after that. So that's kind of how I always did it. And it was always cheaper that way too. But it was almost like an extra vacation location. So Emirates BKK to Hong Kong first class one way $925. Okay. The registration burden will be with hotels and landlords. I doubt police will be breaking down any doors, but who wants more government in their lives? Exactly. Well, the whole thing is with Airbnbs, and I don't know what it is in Vietnam, but here in Thailand, you can't rent your condo out as an Airbnb unless you're doing it for over 30 days at a time. And they don't. I mean, they still do it. I said earlier, it's like the condo next door to me is an Airbnb, and they'll stay 1 week, maybe two, and then they're gone. So they treat it as an Airbnb, or they treat it as short time. But if that's the case in Vietnam, are the Airbnb people going to register you for 3 nights or 4 nights? Because if it's illegal, then aren't they going to get caught? So maybe a lot of that stuff's under the table and they don't actually do it. So I don't know. I don't know how it all works, but you're right. Too much government, the nanny state. It seems to be very intrusive law. I would understand it if it's just hotels. Yeah. Well, I get it that if you're coming in from another country, I get that you should register. I mean, you have to do it here. But why would locals have to? I don't understand why locals would have to do it. That doesn't make any sense to me. Sounds like almost every Asian country has some dumb laws. I think every country, period, has dumb laws. Been renting here in Da Nang this year. It's a lovely city, but the visa runs are getting to me. My landlord has to register my visa every 3 months as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do the visa runs. I could do the. So when I first moved to Thailand, I actually had an apartment rented in Da Nang, and so my whole plan was to stay on a tourist visa for a year, spend 3 months in Bangkok or Thailand, and then spend 3 months in my apartment in Da Nang. I had a year lease in Bangkok in Samut Prakan, and then I had a 3 month lease in Da Nang, and I was just going to keep renewing every 3 months and just have that there. And I had clothes and essentials there, and I had clothes and essentials here, and so when I would travel, I didn't need to bring anything really, just my laptop or whatever, my gear, my video gear. That everything was already there. It was like going home, and it was kind of nice for the first half a year, and then I kind of kept missing Bangkok every time I'd leave, and then I got to thinking, it's like why would I continue to pay rent in Da Nang when I could just go to Da Nang when I felt like it and get a nice hotel, just carry a backpack with me, so I don't have to carry a bunch of stuff, and get a nice hotel for like $15 a night, super cheap, which is no different than renting an apartment for a month. So I made that decision, and then after a while, it's like, well, you know what? I'll go see Da Nang again, but not anytime soon, and I'm just going to make Bangkok my home, and because I liked it, and I always missed it when I left. So, and then I went to the education visa, and now I'm on the retirement visa, so I'm full time here. So I don't have to worry about visa runs. I would enjoy the long layovers, but getting a hotel, going through customs, dragging bags, doing the arrival cards, I just stay long term if going through it all. Yeah, I get it. Have you been to Japan? What do you think about it? I am thinking to make it a long layover on my way back to the U.S. when I go back. Yes, but I haven't been back there since March of 2020. I was there an extended period because COVID just started and I got stuck in Tokyo. But it was a great time. There wasn't a lot of people there. There were a few, but it wasn't a lot. And I was in the Roppongi Hills area, which is a really neat restaurant and bar district. And I just walked everywhere during the day, just checking out temples and places like that, and checking out restaurants, and found this tiny little bar in this little alley downstairs. You wouldn't even know it was there unless you were looking for it, but I stumbled on it and went in there, and the owner was this Ukrainian lady, very pretty lady, probably I would say mid 40s maybe, and then the bartender was she was part Japanese, part Brazilian, and she was from Brazil, and then the people that were there, and I went there every night after a while because it was like this is kind of my hangout, and so the people I met there's one guy from the Czech Republic, and one guy that was French, and a girl from Cambodia, and we all spoke English really well, and it was really fun, and I loved it. I loved Tokyo. And then when I finally got to leave, I had like a 7 hour or 8 hour layover in where was it? It was Osaka. I had a 7 hour or 8 hour layover in Osaka, and I took the train from the airport to downtown Osaka and spent a couple hours down there that evening. But I love Tokyo. I want to go back. It's been a while, and I really miss it. So let me bring up some pictures so you guys can kind of see. Hang on just a second. I want to make sure there's nothing that's incriminating when I share this with you guys. Okay, we'll start here. Hang on, I got to share this. Share screen, photos. Okay. All right. So as soon as you guys can see that, so that's me, obviously, with a shit-eating grin on my face. The lady on my left, the right, she's the owner. She is from the Ukraine, and then the beautiful woman to my right or your left is the girl from Brazil. But she's part Japanese. I guess there's a history in that. I guess the Japanese sent a lot of women to Brazil during World War II. For some reason, I don't know what the reason behind it was, for safety or whatever. So there's a lot of Brazilian blood lying in the Japanese, from what I understand. All right, so that's another picture. That's the owner there in the middle. That's me on your left. And then the guy on the right is the guy from the Czech Republic. And he was a cool dude, too. And then there's me with the owner. There's my Corona. And there's the Cambodian girl, who was awesome, I will say. There's Roppongi, Tokyo. Some pictures there. There's some of the food. The food was amazing. I love the food there. And they have like a counter thing. So you just order and they give it to you at the counter. This guy there in the forefront, he got a bowl of stuff, and he used chopsticks, and he was just shoveling it in, and it's very noisy, very loud slurping and stuff. But I guess that's their culture, and that means they're enjoying it. That's a compliment. There's the tiger out front of the restaurant. They were filming. They were doing a film, or a TV show, or a movie or something. So I took some pictures of that. So that was pretty cool. But this was in March of 2020. Oh, that was when the big thing was back in the U.S. they were hoarding toilet paper. So I posted this. I said, hey, I'm going to buy all this toilet paper and sell it at 10 times the market price when I get back to the U.S. There's me there. There's my food. There's really good steak and rice. But that was the Wagyu beef I had. It was amazing. And there's me enjoying a nice coffee. And I think this is a video of the girls dancing, if it runs. I don't know if it's going to run. Okay, guys, that's it. You're not going to see any more. Anyway, but it was a blast. I want to go back there. I want to see if that bar's back there or not. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I thought it was. I think Tokyo is really cool. I would probably live there if I could afford it, but it's just too expensive, and the apartments are just too small. Flying with Emirates next week to Dubai from Manila for business, and ticket was under $500. Wow, that's really good. This day and age, yeah. Still missing to understand what's their end goal, stipulating this law in Vietnam. Yeah, I don't get it. Other than maybe they're working toward that digital nanny state like every other country is. Love Japan, a great trip, but go off season. They get really crowded on season. Yeah, I'll bet. So that was in March. Of course, it was right at the beginning of COVID, so it wasn't super, super busy. I left before the cherry blossoms bloomed and all that. So it was a little chilly, kind of rainy sometimes, but it was nice. Did you hear about the Muay Thai boxing gym in Bangkok? I did not. What's happening with that? Which gym is that? Let's see. I'm thinking March. Is it busy then? No, it's not. It's not that busy in March unless you go late enough where the cherry blossoms are blooming. because then it gets really busy and the weather starts warming up. So it'll be a little cooler, but not bad. I mean, you saw me, I was just wearing a light jacket. Integrity Legal did a video about it, about the Muay Thai. I haven't heard. I don't really watch his videos. Yes, weather changing just before cherry blossoms bloom, but if that is your only time to go, still go. Miss Japan a lot. Yeah. Probably going back to the Philippines next year for some more fun. Vietnam has been great to me, but it's not a place I will stay long term. Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. A lot of Japanese lineage in South America, German too. Yeah, the boys from Brazil. Is that what you're getting at? Definitely need to vacation in Japan. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I can't wait to go back. I'm going back probably next spring during the cherry blossom time. But I'll probably stay in Roppongi Hills again. I want to try to find that bar. I wish I could remember the name of it. Japan looks great. Looks like a lot of fun and great memories. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed my time there, my stay there. I was there about 3 weeks, maybe, before I could find a cheap flight out. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Okay, guys, we're over the 2-hour mark by about 12 minutes. Still got 32 on. What else is on your mind? We'll chat a little longer. I still got some coffee to quench my thirst. I got to record my 80s music show yet. I haven't done that yet for this weekend. So I got to make sure my voice is good for that. I'll do that later today. If you're not aware of that, it's JJ Radio Guy is the video channel, and I do a weekly 80s, some 70s music, and I do it just like I'm a DJ, like you're listening to the radio back in the day. I got jingles and everything, but it's fun. By the way, make sure you hit that thumbs up if you can, guys. I'd appreciate that. Yeah, the cherry blossom time is incredible from what I understand. I've never been here. I've been to Tokyo for that, or Japan for that, but I hear it's really neat. Even in tourist areas, hard to find English speakers. They learn it, but don't use it, so they forget it. Yeah, and you're talking about Japan, right? Yes, it's even less so there than here as far as English. So you will have an issue. And unlike here in Thailand, where if you look at a menu, it's in Thai, but it's also in English, so you can kind of tell what you're ordering. They don't have a lot of that in Japan. So you kind of have to look for the menus with pictures and kind of point to what looks good. And then you're kind of taking a chance. It's like, what kind of beef is this? Or what kind of meat is this? Is it beef, pork, whatever? So, but anyway, I was fine with it. I learned just enough Japanese to get through the day. So, and I can ask somebody if they understand English. And so, is Japan a 30-day tourist visa? I'm not sure. It might be 90. Let me ask Gemini real quick. What type of tourist visa do foreigners get traveling to Japan? Okay. Let's see. Usually granted 15, 30, or 90 days, depending on reciprocal agreements with the visiting country. So free visa entry. Let's see. Foreigners traveling to Japan for tourism generally get a temporary visitor visa, or they enter under a visa exemption, short-term stay arrangement, depending on their nationality. Yeah, so I think depending on which country, but I think U.S. citizens get 90 days, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. Like I said, it'll be almost 7 years since I've been there, so it's been a while. Is staying for cherry blossoms worth it? I think it would be. I've never been there, but if you like beauty, and Tokyo is a beautiful city, so clean, so safe, and I think with the cherry blossoms blooming, I think it would be amazing. But if you're not so much into that sort of thing, then I wouldn't mind. It'd probably be okay to go anytime. I was lucky enough to be in Japan in March. Beautiful country, fantastic infrastructure, calm and spotlessly clean. Yeah, you're absolutely right. 90-day visa for Japan for U.S. citizens. That's what I was thinking. Always trade-offs for each country. Cambodia has been the easiest visa for me, but Phnom Penh doesn't have the modernity of Bangkok or Ho Chi Minh City, and also dating was non-existent. Really? I'm surprised. I thought dating was supposed to be easy in Cambodia. Driving range near Ekamai BTS. Yes, that's the driving range I go to. It's called 42T. It's right on Sukhumvit 42, or right near Sukhumvit 42. I think the EU and Singapore have visa-free entry, probably Thailand too. Yes, right now Thailand's 60-day visa-free entry, but they're going to move it back to 30 days soon. I'm not sure when, though. Yeah, I think or are you talking about Thai going to Japan? Funny how Japan been really close to the U.S. after World War II, but their English is worse than in Thailand. Well, they don't feel the need, I guess. We helped rebuild them to a really nice country. And is Japan busy during October part of the year? I don't know anything about October. I wonder if there's going to be any new visas in 2026. Hopefully a better digital nomad visa in the Philippines. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Philippines. It's 90 days. Yeah, that's what I thought for U.S. Yep. Thank you. I'm talking about Japan. Oh, okay. Still need to do arrival cards even in visa-free countries. Yeah, right. So they got the TDAC here and soon to have the TIM, which will take over for everything, which is kind of neat. I understand it's kind of a nanny state type of thing, but sure beats out filling out those cards while you're on the airplane and waiting in line in immigration. So you still have to do that a little bit, but 90 days in Japan would add up. That would go fast, I would think. And it would be very costly to stay 90 days in Japan, especially in Tokyo. Maybe in the little provinces. If you take your Thai girlfriend to Vietnam, I guess the new rule doesn't apply. She would have to register just like you would wherever you go. I would think that would be, unless you leave her or she leaves you, and then you're on your own. All right, guys, it's about 20 after. We're going to call it a day. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. I appreciate it. It was a good talk today, guys. I appreciate you being on and joining me. And we'll see you next weekend, next Sunday. And as always, live life, my friend. Sabay, sabay. We'll talk to you again soon.